Good day, Ruskin enjoyers. I hope each and every single one of you is doing right out there in the world. It is time now for the 48-hour analysis. Yes, as you can see here, all of these skins rotated in this Rust store just 2 days ago, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at their current progress based on sales and try and figure out which of these skins is still holding up to be a very nice investment. Right, so first up, we're going to take a look at the first 24 hours of sales. This is what we can currently see, and it looks like Punkjack Door is currently in the lead with 7,300 bare minimum sales, because that's what we see with subscribers. And very awkwardly, Redemption Tier 3 armor has only just about 6,000 sales each. Now, please remember, there's a lot of private accounts out there that scmm.app cannot track. So maybe there's some private accounts out there that probably bought a few thousand to themselves to keep hidden away. Who knows? But we've seen some very similar numbers over the course of this whole month, haven't we? So if we were to compare what we see here, so get a good look at all of that. This was last week. And last week we did have the standout skin that was the grass rug. That did 12,000 sales after the first 24 hours. That eventually did about 30,000 sales, didn't it? Whereas all of these other skins, none of them went anywhere near 20,000. Well, I mean, Berserker Tsar kind of did, but yeah, only that one. Anyway, yeah, but the main thing that I want to compare to is the likes of this armor here. So, Ronin Tier 3 armor, that had just over 6,000 sales. In fact, a little bit more. This face mask had a little bit more than our Redemption face mask. And then, chestplate is a bit lower. And then you had the likes of the Abyss Tier 2. Now, the kilt was special. And it, of course, is a continuation of the likes of the Tier 3. So there's a lot of buzz about this. I'm not surprised this had more traction. But it's the fact that when we compare it to the likes of Sand Rhino also had more sales in comparison to the Redemption Tier 3 armor. That's kind of a shock. But there's one thing we should point out. There was an immediate talking point about this. It was a budget version of Desert Raiders Tier 3. Desert Raiders Tier 3, when this literally first appeared, was selling between $50 to $60. That's how much it cost for that Tier 3 armor. Whereas this was a much more affordable budget alternative, and it would have only cost you $5. So there was quite a lot of buzz about this. But the main talking point was, see how this has about just over, it's almost 7,000 sales here, sorry. It's almost 7,000 sales here. What did that lead to in the end? Barely 14,000 sales. Barely. So when you look at this, we now have to take a look at the likes of the Redemption Tier 3 armor, and you have to question, where might that end up now? Because with all of these skins, and yeah, it's mainly talking about all of these skins, because of the current situation with a fairly decent amount of people not currently playing Rust, whether it was based on the fact that they've gone back to school, college, or maybe they're burnt out because, there's been some problems recently, especially with cheating and whatnot. Well, what potentially will this lead towards? Will we see hardly any sales again, which potentially could mean all of these skins potentially, if there's an increase in demand, or who knows what might happen, post-Christmas, will all of this magically rise up in price? And because there's only so much of it that was bought, it's going to easily rise up in price afterwards. It's a very big talking point, especially for the likes of that Redemption Tier 3 armor, but it also does apply to all of this. So just keep that all in mind. So I just wanted to make a big fuss about making those comparisons to begin with, but we should now start talking about these skins in order. I should also quickly just point out, I am actually recording this a fair bit earlier. It's not 48 hours yet, but I've got commitments to do and things I have to go to, so I have to do this now. So you can't really compare the sales that you see here to the previous 48-hour sales videos. Yeah, just wanted to point that out, all right? So let's get started. Let's start talking about the likes of the Punkjack Door. Very cool looking door. That's the immediate thing that I talked about when I first saw it, because I have seen this before. I saw it in my Rust Workshop skin checks. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this potentially turns into a collection. We have to keep an eye on the workshop for this, don't we? So don't forget, always got to keep an eye on the workshop. See what other new goofy things potentially could appear. Oh, a nice new sword by Robstar. Well, that's cool. But anyway, this, very nice, very shiny, glow in the dark. People like it. Would you call it sci-fi horror, or would you just call it like cyberpunk? I don't know. But it's clearly liked. People do seem to be buying quite a lot of it. But the issue is it's a sheet metal door. And we've had a lot of these this year, haven't we? So far, in all of 2023, we have had 20 sheet metal door skins. So you can see the issue with that. We have no sheet metal door skin that came out this year that is currently in the positive. Abyss metal door only only slightly is below its price, but yeah, even that one now is below its Rust Door price. This is unfortunate, but it's expected. We have far too many sheet metal door skins in circulation. There's far too many options. Why spend $2.50 on this when you could probably go pick out a skin that came out maybe 2 years ago that looks just as nice or potentially even better? Maybe you don't want the likes of scary looking cyberpunk or sci-fi. Maybe you just want Outer Planets instead, or a shark eating a lady. You know? Yeah, there's loads of things, there's loads of options, and this is the problem. With so many skins available, it's basically competing with everything else, I guess you could say. Now, we've also noticed a bit of a trend. We've been seeing a lot of sheet metal doors come out this year, selling at $2.49. Yeah. So all of these $2.49 doors, they were very cool when they first came out. They were very interesting. Well, this is now selling for 72 cents. This is now selling for 89 cents. Capybara door, you were very goofy, but now you're selling for $1.50. Adobe decorative door, $1.40. Modern military door, $1.18. And UAP Pilot door, this was actually lower in price, but it went up a fair bit because we saw the sleeping bag being accepted. Well, this is now $2.20. It looks cool. It looks nice. But if we don't see immediate continuations appear, and if they don't immediately get accepted, this is probably going to struggle. So I just wanted to point out, when we first looked at this door, when the Rust Door rotation happened, this was down by like 30%, but then it got bought out, and it ended up in a positive for a little bit, but then more quantity appeared in the Steam market. Case in point, there was demand for it the very second we saw a continuation appear. So if this does potentially turn into a deployable collection, all the better for it. But got to keep an eye on the workshop. I know, it sucks. It's the routine thing. I'm saying pretty much the same thing every single week. You're catching on, yes. Once you understand how basically everything is just the same thing over and over and over again, you basically understand the Rust economy. That's basically it. So you can only hope that we do see more, potentially seeing this turn into a collection and whatnot. But yeah, we can't really do anything until we see something like that appear in the workshop. So the first thing that we could at least do is go to the workshop page for this, look at the comments. Did anybody ask, hey, you're going to turn this into a continuation? A collection, I mean? And no, I'm not seeing anything like that. So it's a cool looking skin, but we've had a lot of cool looking sheet metal door skins this year, and they didn't hold up, unfortunately. So got to be patient. It's abnormal. Don't need to rush into buying it. I'd rather do my abnormal barders first and then look at it afterwards and then see if there's any support, and then I'll make a decision if it's okay to jump in and actually buy it. You know the routine. Right. Redemption Tier 3 armor. So this was something I was talking a lot about in the introduction when I was talking about comparisons. And yeah, if the likes of Sand Rhino had more sales after the first 24 hours and only ended up about 14,000 sales overall, well, that was really low, wasn't it? That was really low. So how much is this going to end up at? Selling for the exact same price as the Sand Rhino, but it looks to be selling not as much based on the current times. So, yeah, a fair bit awkward, I know, but this could potentially turn out to be a very interesting investment. Because if hardly any of these sell, how many people do you reckon will return to playing Rust towards the very end of this year? So, let's talk about the proposed, the expected wonderful post-Christmas times. So, yeah, play a countdown. There's a significant chunk of people who probably aren't playing Rust at the moment who don't know about this Redemption Tier 3 armor. When they hop back in, how many people do you reckon are going to look at it and think, wow, that looks awesome, I want it? Maybe a fairly decent amount, we could assume. But if there's only so much of this being bought, there's only so much of it to go around. And that's the point. If this doesn't sell that much, and there is an increase in demand for this, whether it's potentially seeing new continuations, such as the hoodie and pants, the Tier 2 armor, those core pieces, well, it's very likely going to be going up in price by quite a lot, because there's going to be hardly any resistance, because there's going to be not that much of it, to be listed on the Steam market and third-party sites and whatnot. This very likely could very easily go up in price. But I'm still wanting to, play it safe, I still want to do my abnormal barders first, then look at it afterwards, then make a decision. But it's a very nice, shiny, cool-looking armor set right here. And you might point out, we literally just had the Ronin set last week. That was another red set. Well, it wasn't as shiny as this. It wasn't as cool as this. I'm sorry to say, Mr. Patrick, but it looked cool. You can be a Bionicle, all right? So anyway, a lot of us were really anticipating the arrival of this because we knew this was coming. It just ended up coming literally at the last second of summer, Mr. Slanoster. But yeah, we've seen other interesting, shiny, colourful sets before. Well, not colourful as in multiple colours, but I'm talking about, we've had the likes of Skullkiller last year, which was a shiny blue set, which came out around the end, in the middle of the summer. So if I were to take a look at all of this, Skullkiller turned out quite all right, retains its value during the bad times, and we can see that for us right now. And during the good times, it sold very, very nicely, especially post-Christmas time. This sold very, very, very nicely. So let's just go take a quick look at its current state. And yes, as I said, it's currently the bad times. Some of these skins are not doing super great, but as you can see here, the Tier 3 armor is holding up very nicely. And as you can see, when we saw the likes of Hoodie and Pants come out afterwards, it did have a few thousand sales more compared to the likes of the Tier 3 armor. And then when the kilt came out, it had even less compared to all of the other ones. So yeah, Tier 3 and kilt holding up very nicely. Hoodie and Pants a little bit awkward because it had an extra excessive amount of sales. But when it was post-Christmas 2023, January 2023, that right there, all of this was selling in the positive. It was very nice. And as you look at the likes of Redemption currently at the moment, with all of its weapons that have already come out, some of them are now going back up on the positive, it seems. Cool. So just with the inclusion of armor, people have hopped back onto it. But anyway, main point is, even without this, all these weapon skins were retaining most of their value. Oh wow, even the AK started to pick back up again. At its worst, this was down by like 35%. But then again, it's people like listing at very low prices to get some quick money. So yeah, things like that can happen. Things are looking very, very nice for this in the future. We're going to have a lovely batch of weapons to put on our weapon racks, and you can pose right next to it, potentially with a full set of Redemption clothing and armour. We're going to potentially have a full set on the horizon. Now, Slanoster, he likes to take his time to cook, alright? So the Tier 2 armour, probably going to take a while. Hoodie and Pants, probably going to take a while. Please accept that, alright? So if you don't see anything come out for the next 2 or 3 weeks, don't give up on it, alright? Don't start dumping this, that's stupid. Or, you know what, you can. I'll just pick them all up for cheap and then I'll sell them for a whole lot more money in the future. So there you go. Do what you want. I can't lose. But yeah, main point is, it will take a while to see some new pieces appear eventually, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people are anticipating the arrival of that. But I'm just kind of pointing out, don't expect anything this weekend, all right? Even Slanoster said that. So yeah. We just got to wait and see what this looks like by Thursday next week. And if it is only about 15,000 sales in the grand scheme of things, that's very low sales. And if we were to just do a little comparison of all these metal face masks out of all of this year, how much did each and every single one of these sell? Well, UFOs sold 23,000. Pizza sold 15,000. If we can't beat pizza, I don't know where we're going. Hardsuit had 22,000. Reptile Hunter face mask 17,000. Pirate face mask 57,000. Well, we did talk about that quite a lot, didn't we? Pixel face mask 8,900. Abyss face mask 31,000. JPEG face mask 12,000. High quality face mask 16,000. Saiyan Rhino was 14,000, and Ronin was a little bit more with 14,600. If this doesn't manage to beat the likes of that, I don't know what to think anymore. So, yeah. Will it work out very nicely simply based on the fact that it didn't sell that much? And I honestly, Slanoster, you can have a moan at me all you want. If this was submitted 2 months earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if this would have sold at bare minimum 30,000 sales. Wouldn't have been surprised. It could have been like Abyss Tier 3. Yeah, that was just about the perfect timing for it, and it sold a lot. If this came out earlier, Slanoster, you could have had a lot more profit, but you kept taking too long. Too many weapons, damn it. Anyway. So for us investors, it might work out very interestingly. So we just got to keep an eye on all of this. Right, I've rambled about that more than enough. Let's now move on. Ultra large box. So I like this whole style. I think it looks really nice. Get a good look at that. All like the mossy grass, all in between the brickwork, the wooden vine branches and whatnot. The glow-in-the-dark colours, that looks really nice. Smoothie, you've done a very good job of this. Now let's just hope you turn it into a collection. Now, if you don't fully remember, Smoothie did make the Dungeon Collection. I'm pretty sure you had a different name back then. Stop changing your names. Yeah. So he made the Dungeon Collection earlier this year. He was producing more and more skins for it, but they didn't get any acceptances, so that was awkward. But now he's got a brand new skin accepted right here, and where does he go from here? Well, maybe he goes through the whole routine all over again. You know what? You could turn it into a very cool-looking garage door. You could turn that into a small box. That wouldn't be too hard. I'm guessing. A rug. Yep. You could. You know what? I would like that. If you could get like that nice, cool brickwork with all the grassy stuff, and have that on a rug, and then we could just put that all in our interiors or outside our base or whatnot. That would look cool. That would look cool. And you have like these little power cells in the middle every bit. Yeah, consider doing that. That's a cool idea. So anyway, lots of potential creative freedom there. Lots of interesting things could be made with this. What happens next? Well, all we can really do is just read the comments and sit here and see. Yep. Confirmation. There you go. So how quick will that be? Don't fully know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to happen within the next 2 weeks. Either this weekend or next weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more altar deployable skins being made. Yeah, you get the idea. So it looks nice. Let's compare it to all of the other large box skins that we've had so far this year. We've had quite a decent amount. So yeah, large box skins actually tend to do quite all right in terms of retaining their value. But yeah, last year we had so much more, didn't we? But it's not too hard to understand. We had 2 storage collections last year. We saw the later half of the scientific storage, and then we had all of the graffiti storage set. So yeah, this year it's a lot less storages. Fair enough, that's fine. But when you look at all of them, a fair decent amount of them aren't really doing super great. But then there is a portion of them that are holding out quite all right. So like you got the Ross. I don't know why this is in the positive. Nothing wrong with it. It's just not really part of a collection or anything. It's not super standout, but I'm surprised it's selling decently. But anyway, during the good times, I expect the vast majority of these to be selling in the positive, as in selling at a high price compared to their rust-store price. I wouldn't be surprised by it. But for likes of this, by default, very cool standout design. Will we see more of this type of design, as in a deployable collection? I'm expecting it. So just keep an eye on that for now. But with the amount of sales this currently has, it's definitely not going to be the lowest selling skin. No. But as of now, I'm expecting at bare minimum 15,000 sales. Yeah, that's looking to be pretty all right. So, yeah, it's also abnormal. Don't need to rush into buying it. We're going to see how things turn out. Look at the support afterwards. Make a decision if it's okay to jump in and buy it afterwards. So, you know the routine. You understand. All right. Pirate Thompson. So it's the second pirate weapon skin to be accepted. Very nice. But out of all the Thompson skins, this is the 14th overall, because we had 3 Thompson skins being given away for free this year, didn't we? But it's the 11th marketable one. And currently, with the amount of sales that we currently see, it's probably not going to be one of the top selling skins of the whole batch that you see right in front of you. Potentially, it might even be the lowest selling, which is a bit of a shock to me, because when you actually look at it, we've talked about this all the time, you could look at this as a budget blackout option. So aim down the sight, what do you see? Useful red aim sight. It's mostly black. It's got a cool looking design of the flag being ripped all across it and whatnot. So yeah, I honestly do think this has a pretty decent future ahead of it. It's a Thompson skin, but a lot of you people are probably going to be sitting here saying, you said that a lot this year, now look at the Thompson skins. Yeah, I know, I see it, alright? This is definitely something that I'm going to have to incorporate to next year. Now, we did see a lot of Thompson skins this year. That was a bit of an anomaly, alright? So I just want to also point out we have had quite a lot of options. But if this is it at its worst, I want to see what it looks like at its best. And we should still point out that the quantities of these skins aren't that high. If you look over to here, do you see this this key right there? Yeah, that is 38 Cybercode Thompsons on the Steam market, 33 Panther Thompsons on the Steam market, 66 Thompsonanas on the Steam market, 65 high quality metal Thompsons on the Steam market. It's all low. It's all below 100 quantity, or at least most of them are below 100 quantity. So don't fuss too much. It can easily turn around and magically go up in price. In fact, why don't we take a look at the Panther Thompson, for example? No, don't be shy. Show yourself. It's very well hidden. Panthers are very good at, hiding themselves before they attack. Right. So, it's 32 now. Okay, so if we just look at that, look at it. Where's the resistance? Where's the problems? Just because a a portion of people decided to sell theirs below $2 doesn't necessarily mean it's ruined. When people return to play the game, when everybody's using their Thompsons all over again, because of course it's one of the most used weapons in the game, they're going to feel justified to getting some skins for their Thompsons, and, well, this could easily just disappear, and suddenly the value of this skin goes... So, I've talked about this, haven't I? So, let's now talk about more specifically with this. If this is one of the lowest selling skins out of all of that, honestly, that actually makes it look to be very appealing, alright? Kind of like this as well. I would have expected this to have sold so much more if this probably would have came out like maybe 2 months ago. Like if this came out 2 months ago, this probably would have already had about 10,000 sales at this current time. But then again, I should point out, it's not yet 48 hours at the moment. I'm recording this earlier. So I think this is probably going to struggle to even get 15,000 sales, which is quite silly. Yes, I'm well aware. But we should also consider that Pirate Collection seems to be getting more skins accepted that are weapons now. Now, fairly recently, we did have the SAR being submitted. Unfortunately, that wasn't accepted. Like, I don't know. Maybe Facepunch just didn't feel like having a SAR at that time. Okay, yeah. But I won't be surprised if we potentially see a version 2 of that at some point. I won't be surprised if we see even more weapon skins being made. I guess Mr. Y9J's probably realised, you know what, I should be making some skins to be put on those sweet, delicious looking weapon racks. Oh yes, I will need my skins to stand out and look ever so cool. So yeah, cool, understood. So I'm thinking that's going to be quite alright. I actually am considering wanting to buy some of those. Unfortunately, that's the only skin this week that isn't abnormal. But honestly, you could just look at the sales on Wednesday and think, yeah, that hasn't really sold that much. I'm going to go buy a chunk. And yeah, I'm probably going to go buy a chunk. I bought a lot of Thompsons this year. I have seen the prices go down. I will be incorporating what I've seen this year into how I approach Thompsons next year. Because by default, I will be expecting probably, at least 15 Thompsons every year now. Also considering the likes of free skins being given away as Twitch drops, because that happened 3 times this year. So yeah. It's cool. It's fine. Let's leave it for now. But yeah, it's all based on sales. So that's enough, isn't it? Right. Armageddon AK-47. It does look cool. This doesn't glow in the dark, by the way. It's no glow. It just looks cool there, but that doesn't actually glow. It's all the texture, which, but all props to the likes of you, Schumann Oasis. It does look cool. The sculpting, very nice. It's just an issue of we've had far too many AKs this year. We've literally just had nearly, it was like, okay, so was it an AK-47 skin every week except like the last week? Is that correct? Yeah. So it was like, all right, so we skipped a week in between here, but then we had this, and the week before that we had this, and the week before that we had this, and the week before that we had this, and then there's a week in between, and then it was this, and then the week before that we had this, and then we're getting an AK pretty much every other week, basically. We've had far too many AKs this year. We're about to reach 200 marketable AK-47 skins. So I guess, hooray! I guess. So if you're a skin creator out there, you should probably have 200th AK. There's an idea. There is an idea right there. But anyway, point is, you can see that there's far too many options. You know how we talked about earlier with the likes of Sheepman Adores? We're like, yeah, there's far too many options. Every new skin's basically competing with every other thing that came out already. And with this selling at $2.49, well, with that money, I could just buy 2 of these. Take your pick, I could buy the Redemption AR instead. I could put that money towards something that came out the year before. I could go buy a Skullkiller AR, nice blue skin instead. Or I could buy a Toy AR instead. I could buy a Fish AK. Yeah, I could buy a... Yeah. What else could I buy? I'm just trying to find something. A little bit more money. I could get a Retrowave AR. Do you understand this, right? Do you understand the problems that this has? So whilst it kind of looks cool for what it is, it's not the first skin this year that looked very cool when I first looked at it. In fact, this was just literally a month ago. What did we see? We saw that very cool looking Knights Templar AK, didn't we? And that looked very nice, in-game and whatnot. That had a very cool looking texture. That stood out very nicely to me. Guess what? This now sells for 89 cents on the Steam market. That is how far it's gone down. It's unfortunate, but that's AK-47 skins now. it's do or die. Either you stand out and be very unique, like the Kiss AR or the Chameleon AR, or be part of a well-established collection like the Redemption AR, or that's it, done, doomed. And unfortunately, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, yeah, it's probably going to end up like most of the other AKs, down to around $1 after about a week or two. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Sorry about my nose. My nose is playing up with me. Don't worry, we'll get this video done. It's all good. But yeah, the fact that this literally has appeared after so many AKs being accepted very recently, it's just awkward timing. And you know, next month we're going to have some very cool looking Halloween AK-47 skin being made and potentially being accepted. So yeah, I'm just going to leave that for now. $2.49. I don't think it's going to retain its value. I very likely will be doing a 70 cent to 90 cent buy order, like we usually do with most AK-47 skins. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm looking at this from a financial perspective. I need to make sure that I don't lose any money. And seeing the behaviour of most of the AKs this year, yeah. Right, UAP Pilot Sleeping Bag. So this was an interesting new deplorable skin. With this being accepted, we did see the likes of this sheet metal door being bought out. Now, there wasn't that many of them in the Steam market initially anyway, but I've also seen the likes of the Pilot Furnace also going down in quantity. Didn't this have like 60 just a few days ago? Now it's all magically disappeared. I wonder what happened. Well, I'm getting the feeling people noticed that. And I'm getting the feeling that we're going to be seeing some more UAP Pilot deplorable skins being made. Wouldn't be surprised if it's also accepted. So, yeah, it's had a bit of a weird history, this one. It came out. Down. Oh, look, new deplorable skin. Up. Down. Oh, look, new deplorable skin. Up. So, yeah. Do you reckon around post-Christmas time, this is going to elevate, and suddenly this is probably sitting at maybe like $2 or $3, and it never goes below that ever again? Do you reckon that could happen? Because this has always had very low quantity. And then again, we should also take a look at the likes of this. Now, this came out somewhat recently, and yeah, but even then it also has low quantity. There's no resistance. That could easily get bought out. I mean, have at it if you want. It doesn't have the buy orders to really give it the support to keep the price up, but there's also like hardly any of it. I don't know what's going on. This still sold like 15,000, but I'm surprised to see hardly any of it's appeared here. So, yeah, this is looking to be turning into a deplorable collection. All of this has been bought out. At the moment, it's still fairly cheap, but when we see a whole bunch more people return to play the game and see that and think, haha, very goofy, looks so high, I'm going to buy it out, then, you know, that's going to magically become a very positive looking deplorable collection, as in all the skins would be above their Rustore prices. So whilst it looks cheap now, there might be an opportunity right there in front of you. And yeah, as I have said, don't rule out the possibility of seeing even more UAP Pilot skins being made. Even though Little Ranger is juggling a lot of collections, and we've made this joke like 3 times this week already, he still has time to put out a skin for each of these collections. Like, throughout a month, you're going to see maybe a skin for the likes of a toy collection, or a Abyss collection, or UAP Pilot, or maybe another random rainbow pony. There's always, like, time for something. And, well, I wouldn't be surprised if there'll be time for another UAP Pilot deplorable skin at some point. Maybe an Armageddon, maybe a rug, maybe another attempt at the rock, because, yeah, there was an alien rock that was submitted like a good month ago, wasn't accepted. Maybe that could be turned into a version 2. We shall see. But with the current sales that we see, this doesn't look to be reaching that high of total sales. If anything, I get the feeling this might sell less than the likes of this Fry's sleeping bag. Potentially, yeah. But also, take a look at all of these sleeping bags. Do you notice a bit of a problem? Yeah, they're not really holding up very well. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, yeah, if that does very low sales, I could see that becoming quite an interesting looking skin for the future. Especially with how the other UAP Pilot skins reacted when this appeared. So, every new deplorable skin, you tend to see a spike in demand and a spike in price for all the pre-existing deplorables in the same collection. So we'll just see how that turns out from here on now. Now we're going to talk about the likes of Diva Dan's Pixel Locker. Now, this isn't selling that much, and it's unfortunate, because you'd have to like get a good look at all of the other deplorables to truly understand what the style is, and you can clearly see that right in front of you. It's the goofy, pixely design. Some people like to say, haha, Minecraft. No. Terraria. But anyway. It's nice for what it is, but it doesn't stand out like... It's not super in your face. Like, maybe a lot of people will potentially respect it for what it is and like it, but in terms of like the color scheme and whatnot, you don't really have anything that in your face. You have a style, but you really have to go right up to it to really, look at it, appreciate it and whatnot. And that's why I'm starting to realise I get the feeling people just don't seem to like this that much. Whilst it's a cool idea, it's a cool style, it's the actual colours, the textures and whatnot that are kind of not really capturing people. Now, if we do see a whole bunch more pixel deplorable skins being made and uploaded and whatnot, that'd be nice. But Mr. Divadan, well, he's constantly making TF2 stuff at the moment. Halloween is just around the corner, so he's going to be very busy with that maybe for another 2 weeks. So I wouldn't imagine anything immediate. Divadan, listen, we need that pixel tier 2 armor. That's what we need. That's what we want. Give it to us. Give it to us. Give it to us. Give it. But yeah, Pixel Collection is actually one of the biggest collections that we have in Rust. So 24 skins, 24 skins so far. We've had a variety of tools, weapons, deplorables. You can see all of that. But the likes of that didn't really have too much of an impact on all of these skins, and I don't think it's going to really hold up after it as well. So, yeah. But the weird thing is, you're going to sit there and say, yeah, that's not going to retain its $2 price. Well, actually, if you were to take a look at all of these locker skins, marketable ones that is, if you looked at them by lowest price, you'd be surprised to notice that the cheapest one is actually only $1.72. Yeah, they actually do seem to be not exactly doomed, if you know what I mean. Like, you could see that's not really down that much, and this isn't really down that much. Please understand, we're going through the bad times, and if these locker skins aren't really doing that bad, then maybe this might eventually, like, not do that bad. It was such a weird way of saying all of that, but you understand me, right? This very likely might only go down maybe by 10%. So if we could, see that for ourselves, maybe we just have to do a very smart buy order. That it could be, that might very likely be the case. That's not too hard to understand. But this has only got 4,000 sales so far. At the current rate, I'm wondering if this is even going to reach 10,000 sales by next Thursday. Yeah. And if that is the case, if that is the answer, this actually might become a pretty interesting skin for the future. But we can't really rely purely based on the fact that it didn't have that many sales. Is that going to be a good investment? It might have a decent job at retaining its value, but in terms of being a very nice, profitable skin, well, that's where it's going to be questionable. So we're just going to have to leave it for now, because it's also abnormal. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. So, yeah, all of these skins are abnormal except the Pirate Thompson. So we're going to use that time to our advantage. We're going to do the abnormal buy orders first, look at the support afterwards, then make a decision afterwards if we want to buy them. Sounds good? Perfecto. But on that night, we're doing the abnormal buy orders. Something else is on the horizon. Yes, it really does look like... No, go away. No, shut up. It really does look like Counter-Strike 2 is coming out next Wednesday. So... September 27th, gentlemen, you need to get yourself nice and prepared, because if you thought Rust skins were doing bad now, it might potentially get even worse. Now, we have made a big fuss about how usually October is the time where we see rock bottom prices for Rust skins, but this really might, bury us even further down. I'm still under the impression that everything's going to be all right around post-Christmas time, it might be bad now, but that's it, we're already enduring the bad times. We're already getting through it. It hurts. It's suffering. But we're going to get past it. We're still going to have the wonderful post-Christmas time. Last year wasn't very good, and then we still had a very good post-Christmas time. In fact, it was one of the best ones because it went all the way through into February. That was great. We had loads of profits, loads of great money and whatnot. So anyway, I'm still assuming we potentially might get up to 100,000 average players for January 2024. Whilst it looks low now, just a decent sale around Christmas time, because don't forget, it's going to be Rust's 10th birthday in December. I'm not sure if they might have a special discount for it. We do know we're getting gingerbread building skin available to everyone for free during the holidays, that being Christmas and whatnot. So maybe there will be a little bit more, but something surely will entice loads of people to want to jump back in December time, and it will stick around into January time, I'm sure, and that's where we'll see potentially the likes of January 2023 being eclipsed, and we have 100,000 average people. Oh yeah, hopefully. So yeah, that is basically everything. We have CS2 potentially coming out next week. There very likely will be a new case, maybe new collections, maybe new content essentially that people might want to put their money towards instead of like to these Rust skins. I would assume there's a lot of people out there that are involved with both the economies, Rust and CSGO, so maybe they liquidate their Rust stuff and put it towards the likes of CSGO, or rather CS2. We shall see. So, anyway, some of these skins might go even cheaper. October might be even worse than September. So you know how, oh no, all of the values of my skins have gone down. Well, it potentially could get even worse. Yay. So, anyway. We should probably take a look at the likes of all the previous weeks. Just get a quick look at all of them. So, all the skins that came out last week, that Berserker SAR is very unfortunate. But that's what happens when there's no support to keep the price up. Now, could that rebound? I hope. I really do. Same thing with the likes of this Chameleon MP5. We knew there was going to be problems with these two skins. I could take a quick look at both of them, and if I look at their support right now, yeah, it's still not holding up to about $2. I mean, it's fairly close, but when we last looked at this properly, yeah, that boulder right there is me. That's right, that's me right there. I thought this would have done a whole lot better. And then the Chameleon MP5, the main talking point was, unfortunately, MP5s, not exactly super in demand. It's awkward, gun demand is the issue. And well, this is mainly going to get carried for it being a Chameleon skin. Now, next week, I wouldn't be surprised if we potentially see the likes of the Chameleon LR300 version 2 being accepted. And I really do expect the whole collection is going to just keep flourishing because very nice, very shiny, and looks very good in weapon racks. So, yeah, that's going to get carried purely based on that. But yeah, even the other armor pieces are struggling a fair bit. Ronin, most likely due to the fact that we literally next week, the week after, another new red tier 3 set came out, so that's awkward. If you did buy orders on these, you might want to double check on them because they might be potentially getting a little bit worse. The teeth still look really cool though, but is it really going to hold because of the teeth? And then we look at the week before that, and it's of course this batch. Now, things are looking a bit awkward. Because in contention for next week, we have Sand Rhino hoodie and pants, we have Banana hoodie and pants, and we have High Quality Metal hoodie and pants. Only one of them are probably going to get picked. Which one do you reckon it's going to be? Now, by default, Sand Rhino Tier 3, as I said earlier, that still has the positive based on the fact that this is a much more affordable Tier 3 armor set in comparison to the likes of that Desert Raiders Tier 3. Because, that's expensive. You could just, skimp on, you could just avoid buying these and you could just buy that instead and pair it up with the likes of the hoodie pants here and whatnot. Yeah, that's a whole lot more affordable. You just saved yourself like $40, $50 there. So, yeah, I can see that still doing all right. The banana stuff, awkward. High quality metal, awkward. But let's not rule out the possibility of a version 2. It took Abyss Tier 2 to get a version 2 to finally to be accepted. So, let's not rule out the possibilities of version 2s appearing later down the line. Ghillie Suit was another one. That had hoodie and pants. That had tier 3 armor being submitted. Wasn't accepted. The price of this going down. At one point, this was selling for about $7. A week and a half later, now it's down below $4. This looks like it's going to start going below its Rustall price. How unfortunate, but it is what it is. And Pug, how you doing? So maybe we'll see the likes of a Pug Door next week or more Pug skins being made this weekend. Pug Rock still holding up, very nice to see that. But yeah, it's just basically every week we go through, the vast majority of the skins are going to be in the negative, and that's not too surprising. All skins are currently suffering, but, post-Christmas time, hopefully it all rebounds and it all goes back up in price. I should point out, every complete the sets, this is usual. This isn't a surprise. Like, it's usually always in the negative. I looked at last year's complete the sets around the same time this year. Okay, so around the end of September last year, I was looking at complete the sets, and all of that was basically in the negative around this time as well. So, yeah, I'm sure you can transfer the time. Yeah, okay, cool. So, yeah, but like I said, hopefully soon, just around the corner, post-Christmas. I've said that like 100 times already this whole video. So, yeah. Got to keep an eye on all of your money. Got to keep an eye on all the skins that you have. Not those are stickers. I need rust skins. And, yeah. Now, if it does get really bad for some of you, and you really do need to sell some things, then, yeah, maybe you just need to do that, right? Maybe you can just accept that you can't do buy orders every single week. Just hold it out and see what, hold it out, survive the next month and a half. We get through November, all the Christmas theme skins go up in price very highly, And yeah, that's when you start selling all your Christmas things. You did invest into Christmas things, right? You did buy into gingerbread things when I told about the commits like a month ago, right? Yeah, always keep an eye on the commits. It's where you can get a good hint of what potentially is being made. Like not too long ago, we saw mentions of a microwave, and it turns out there might be a special DLC being made for stuff that you might find in the kitchen or inside your house and whatnot. Apparently that might be one of the things. We, of course, also not too long ago saw the first mentions of the gingerbread building skin. So, we knew about that a month ago. And then fairly recently we saw the talk about it actually, being showed off and what's happening with it. Oh, it's coming out December. Well, cool. And we also know about that Frontier building skin as well, so that's cool. And, Dracula Cape. Dracula Cape is going to potentially be coming out next month, but is it going to be an in-game thing or is it going to be an item? Well, if you look over at likes of my YouTube, you can see fairly recently I've been talking about that. And I will be making a video talking about gingerbread stuff because that's been going up in price by a lot. Oh, yes, it has. So overall, thank you very much for watching me today. I greatly appreciate it. Keep an eye on all of your buy orders. Double check those buy orders. It might get a whole lot worse. CS2 is literally just around the corner. I'm not sure if new content's going to come up with it, but it is expected. We haven't had a Counter-Strike case, as in an actual case you unbox. We haven't had a new case for almost a year now. It's ridiculous. So I'm expecting that, and I'm expecting a lot of money to be put towards Counter-Strike instead of the likes of Rust. So, said more than enough things. Go forth and enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the weekend. Best of luck to you and all of your investments. Au revoir. Goodbye.